Welcome back. This is Friendly Cat. This is episode 2 of our Fascist Ethiopia run. In episode 1, we finished up by driving Italy off our little piece of Africa and getting ready for a civil war. And so now we're about to get into the civil war itself. Step 1 is we're going to actually create a police no MP template. We have the Army Spirit, which lets us create cavalry divisions without spending Army XP. So we're going to first start off by building a single cavalry battalion. Then we're also going to expand it out to try to suck up as much of this manpower as possible so that when we go to the Civil War and we lose our corps, or many of our corps, we can actually keep the manpower and use it to make additional divisions. I decided after all to take that southern port just to take as much land as possible, make it just that much harder for the Civil War enemies, and also to ensure that it all flips to myself or to Ethiopia during the war. Well, Italy's going to try another naval invasion. We're just going to hold them off. We're not going to let them land. We want to make sure that we control those provinces. Italy goes to its civil war, and we also go to our civil war. Oh, we got that nice equipment capture modifier. Very cool. And as expected, we get split. We get about a third of the army divisions. Some are in the north, some are in the south. This is also an interesting four-party war. Fascist Ethiopia under Mussolini is fighting both, I think, ourselves and Haile Selassie, and is fighting Democratic Italy. Democratic Italy is our master. We are their fascist puppet. We are fighting Haile Selassie and neutral Ethiopia in the Civil War, but our master, Democratic Italy, is not fighting Haile Selassie. So that makes things kind of interesting. They're not going to help us out. We're on our own to win this civil war. We will not have any air power or otherwise help from our master. Our first focus after completing the civil war is scavenging tactics. Scavenging tactics is very helpful. We're going to use this for a large part of the game. Lend-Lease is also on our mind since we have that port. We determined that Estonia had gone fascist, so we're going to lend-lease with them, and the usual suspects of El Salvador, Dominican Republic, Venezuela, and Peru. They're going to be very helpful as we build up our army to win the Civil War. Italy offers peace. I like peace, but not right now. Right now we're going to keep the lend-lease going, and we also want to continue down our focuses that need that second, I think, Italian-Ethiopian war to continue to fire. We're outnumbered down by the port, but because our enemy Haile Selassie is out of supply, we can comfortably hold the port. Even if we only had one division, we could still hold it, but it's nice to have two. This little decision, or this little event, is actually pretty cool. We might normally want the mercenary unit, but we're going to push that balance of power hard to the right, so we will choose the second option. After scavenging tactics is complete, we are now going to proceed down our second Ethiopian war focuses. Those will be locked out after these wars are complete. And we want one very important focus and one kind of important focus. We really want to take that 35-day focus renewed offensive for 10% infantry attack for the rest of the game. But we also want the Lessons of War focus, which gives us plus 10% division defense and other cool things like a bunch of army XP for the rest of the game. And that's pretty cool. We like that a lot. All right. And as we continue to fight through, we want to keep an eye on before we click that focus to ensure that our Democratic Italian master isn't going to quickly finish off Fascist Italy. We don't want to burn the focus, lose the focus in the middle of it. And sure enough, they're going to take at least 70 days, so let's start it off. One of the cool things about being a fascist puppet is that we get free licensing. We don't have to pay civilian factories. And licenses are particularly helpful because they give you 20% off researching for those items. So something to keep in mind if you ever find yourself a puppet, a fascist puppet. Time to push out. We are going to drive Haley out. We're going to encircle him, and we are going to defeat him. We've got this. Just a little bit more, and then we're going to be able to encircle all of our... Oh, no, we do not got this. So it looks like because our master Democratic Italy is not at war with Haile Selassie, we're not going to be able to expand out, particularly since whenever we take one of these little provinces, it goes to our master. No big deal. We would eventually have to attack the mountains anyway, so let's just jump on over or swim on over, get on a boat, and attack from the north. With the Lessons of War complete, I can breathe easy. That was a really locked out focus, so I'm really glad that that's now taken care of, because we're now going to expand the Mihail Safari to increase our recruitable population, but also to unlock a lot of really good infantry attack focuses. We're going to double check to make sure we have all of our divisions that might use cavalry at one point before we get rid of this spirit of the army that would given us free cavalry divisions or no army XP, and take the spirit that gives us political power and reduced cost for conscription laws. There we go, pushing through the mountains. It's tough. It's not easy, they've got Chintat Safari just like we do, but we have enough troops through our Lend-Lease that we are able to push through and even get a little encirclement. Encircling 2 Chintat Safari doesn't seem like very much, but you know what? Every little bit counts because we both have relatively few troops. I'm really fortunate that we managed to get one of our generals up to level 4, so we can turn him into the Army Offense Chief of Army. So that means for the next year or so, we're going to get passive Army XP. We're going to get passive Army XP, of course, for the remainder of the game, but we're going to get it right now anyway. As we complete our Civil War, all right, let's take everything. We're the Civil War victors, so we get it all. Very cool. Not so cool. Master, that was part of our cores, so I'm not sure Master Democratic Italy should be taking that land. That belongs to us. Nonetheless, we're going to switch our production over to armored trains. Trains are going to be our limiting factory in the major wars to come. We're also going to start to build up our infantry divisions. Chintat Safari have served us well, but now we need to move on to a little more advanced army. And after we expand the Mihel Safari, so that we can start to work on our population, our manpower, we're going to start down Restore the Country. And that way we can begin our focus toward the War of Independence. We're also going to start upgrading our conscription laws. We eventually want to get all the way to service by requirement, but we'll take limited conscription now. It's a little bit cheaper because of the spirit of the army that we have and the additional political power. It's pretty nice. As Democratic Italy completes its civil war, good job, Democratic Italy. Nice work, Master. You did well. And now we can go to peace, and we still get to keep our land. Of course, you wouldn't take more land, would you, Master? Master, you're kind of getting on our nerve here. Fortunately, Master will continue to lend-lease us equipment even while at peace. So we'll keep an eye on that, Master. I've got a feeling that I might need to take action to take back some of my land. I'm not pretty much appreciative of what you've been up to. You're not being the most best little master you could be. We're also going to be expanding our divisions to eventually have 24 infantry with sport artillery. These are extremely powerful because of the spirits we're going to get, particularly the infantry attack spirits, or infantry attack modifiers we'll get. I'm not going to show all the focuses we take all the way down to our independence focus, but this is the route we're taking one by one. We're not deviating, we're not taking side focus, we're not playing war games or anything else. We're going straight to the War of Independence. Finally, service by requirement. It may not seem like we need the manpower right now because we're so short on production, but it takes a long time to mobilize up, and we want to get started right away so that when we do have the equipment, we have the manpower available. 27 width, we all love those. About 27 with a maintenance, those are going to be very powerful. It may not seem like it on this screen, but that's because it doesn't apply the whole equipment capture modifiers, but as we move those up, they'll do very well. And here we are ready to take our last focus, our War of Independence. Oh, it looks like some countries are going to give us weapons, some are not, because our master is democratic. Democratic countries generally won't give us arms, but others will. This just about wraps up the run. We're going to take a look at Italy's democratic focus tree. It's actually really cool. It looks like Paradox really spent a lot of time and effort making a cool little democratic focus tree, and maybe we could call the run here. I could just live in peace in my little piece of Africa under a democratic Italy. They do all sorts of really cool things for us. They give us stability. We're part of a faction. They're not going to start wars. But no, I think we're going to go for independence. Well, we're going to see what happens in that War of Independence in the next episode, and thank you very much for watching.